we plan to have many more, so next year bring your friends. I want to thank Bob Campetti and the band for being here with us today. They've done a great job, that influence, so we'll have them more. I want to thank all of our sponsors, because this wouldn't be possible without our community support, just like everything we do. I want to thank Gorsuch Construction as our presenting star sponsor. I want to thank Crestview for being a Platinum Star sponsor, Fairfield County Foundation, Fairfield Medical Center, Cryo Communication, Fairfield National Bank, the Friendly Bremen Bank, VPL Architects, N8, and the Lancaster Eagle Gazette. Let's give them all a round of applause. I also want to thank the other many donors that made this possible. Many of you in this room have donated items for our silent auction, have donated your time, and I appreciate all of it. I'd also like to thank Ricky Chenault and Susan Fogelsong. Ricky led the charge for this event. And I would like to also thank all of the committee members that helped. If you could just raise your hands. I'd like to thank them for this great evening. Okay, I'd also like to welcome our board members. We cannot do what we do without great support of our board members. So I do know some of them are here, and if I call your name, I'd love for you to stand up. Our president, longtime president of our board, David Dunbar. Hey! Matt Poston is now our treasurer. Frank Smith, one of our founding board members. Ron Osgood. And Kelly Talby. I'd also like to welcome the Lancaster Mayor, the Honorable David Scheffler, and his wife, Christy. And they did donate an auction item for dinner with the Mayor and Christy, so I encourage you to bid on that one. I haven't had a chance to look, but I'm sure that's going to be very popular. So now I'd like to move on. We really wanted to do this event to really celebrate life. We talk about it, if you listen to radio, TV, we always talk about celebrating life. And so that's what we're here today. We don't want to have a long program, but we have special people we'd like to honor that have helped us through the years. So we've wanted to have awards and recognize those people throughout that have helped in our organization. So we have 3 awards tonight that I'd like to honor. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. The first one is the President's Leadership Award. The President's Leadership Award is a tribute to one individual who demonstrates the wisdom to carry the FAIRHOPE mission to new heights in service, outreach, and fundraising. I would like to honor Leonard Gorsuch. Say a few words, but I'm going to get mine in first if that's okay with Leonard. He's really the boss. Don't let him fool you. Okay. But I met Leonard actually, I think when I became the CEO. I've been with Hospice FAIRHOPE for 25 years, but I became the CEO about 13 years ago. And Dr. Gordon Snyder, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, but he came to me and we talked about how we could build a Pickering house. And I said, well, I'm a nurse. I don't know anything about building, but who do you know in Lancaster that could help us? And he says, well, my good friend Leonard Gorsuch could help us. And he has done nothing shy of helping us build the Pickering House, the Anita M. Turner Center. He has given so much to this community that when we decided we were going to have a President's Award, he was the first person that came to my mind, because I could call him anytime. He even answers his phone in Florida. Crazy. But he has just been there to help this community in so many ways. And we would not be what we are today. We would not be serving this community in the fashion that we have without his generous support and the support of his staff and his company. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Leonard.
I want to thank Denise and all the staff and Joyce Cox, Ricky, everybody. You know, I've been involved with hospice for quite some time. And Gordon first got me involved. But I got to tell you that until my mom passed this last year, it was, they were an immense help to me. And I can't say enough about FAIRHOPE. Thank you.
And it was truly an honor to care for her, Leonard. Mary was over 100 years old, and she has meant a lot to this community. And it was an honor for us to give back to you and your family for all that you've done for us. So thank you for that. Okay, the next award I'd like to give out, we'll talk a little bit about that. It's the Heart of Hospice Award. It is given to one individual proven to have long-standing commitment to the mission of FAIRHOPE. The recipient displays outstanding leadership in support of FAIRHOPE's goals and promotes a spirit of care through continued support. They inspire others through their actions and lead by example. So it's with my great honor and pleasure I honor Dr. Gordon Snyder. Really, Dr. Snyder, I gotta tell you, I'm doing this for the hugs, okay? No, Dr. Gordon Snyder and I go way back, but he was one of our first medical directors. He worked with Dr. Lassar, I believe, first two medical directors, 34 years ago.
Wow.
His medical leadership has been outstanding. He's been a resource to many physicians in this community, healthcare providers, all of our staff. And then I went out on a limb and hired him back a few years ago, didn't I? But he's been a great asset. He trains, helps train all of our physicians and helps as a person in our team meetings to really help the staff with education as well. So he continues to be a leader for us. But I remember when we met that day with Leonard about building the Pickering House. But Dr. Snyder really was the catalyst as he asked Virginia Pickering for a large sum of seed money to help us build that facility. And Virginia did give $1 million in honor of her parents, Dan and Grace Pickering. But Dr. Snyder led that charge, and he formed a capital campaign committee, and I'm sure he'll talk about that some. But I think that, you know, he was the person that really drove this wonderful idea to come to fruition here to help so many people in this community. Oftentimes people at the end of their lives feel like they've been, you know, just tossed aside. And, you know, with the Pickering House and with what FAIRHOPE's been able to do, and it's not me, it's everyone as a team has been able to do, we've given a lot of quality to a lot of lives. And so it's really from the bottom of my heart that I thank Dr. Snyder. He's always there as well. If I need a helping hand or anyone in our organization, he's always been a leader, and I appreciate your long-term commitment. Thank you.
I have a confession to make. I've had very little to do with hospice, really. You gotta look back and see where it came from. When Grace Hallis and Donna Householder and Carolyn Fisher decided that that was something we should do in our community, they did it. All I did was sign a paper saying that I was a physician and I'd back them up. Well, then Jim Nassar came along and he helped out, and Dr. Jerry Roche came along, and he was a director for a considerable period of time. And then there was a questionnaire went around wanting to know whether we should build a long-term facility to take care of people, not long-term necessarily, but a facility, an in-house facility for people who were near death or could not be taken care of, or who people needed to transition with so they could have a rest. Well, anyway, we took this, I forget what you call these things, but it's whether it's worthwhile or not. And I thought, boy, that's a tough sell, you know, feasibility study, right? And I thought that was a pretty tough sell. And I thought, boy, it would be nice if we could do it, but I didn't see how we could do it. Well, the board tackled it. Frank and his group tackled it, and they worked, and they hired this one group, and this group started out, it was going to cost $3 million. The next thing it was, next week it was $4 million. The next week it was $9 million, and then the board got smart and fired them. And about this time, Denise came along. Now, Denise was the spark plug. One of the three most important people in this building of the Pickering House. Leonard, you already know about, and Miss Pickering you know about, but if she hadn't come along and she hadn't been hired, it never would have happened, because she was a spark plug. It really got things going. Well, then after the board got rid of the $9 million people, I thought, gosh, we got to do something. So I went to Leonard. I said to Leonard, what are possibilities of doing this? And Leonard said, well, let me study it. So he got all his boys studying it and his girls studying it, and they came up with a plan. They came up with a plan that was exactly the amount of money we could raise. It was perfect. I'm sure he didn't make very much money on it. In fact, he probably didn't make any money on it, but he did it as a community service. And that's always endeared me to Leonard. Leonard really came through when it was really time that we wouldn't have it without Leonard and Denise. Except that we needed another $1 million. And Virginia was a very generous lady, and she also was kind of interested in having a place where she might meet her last days. So I asked her if she would be willing to do this. I'd already talked to her accountant, and he said, well, yeah, go ahead and ask her. So I did. I asked her, and she said, well, let me think about it. I said, you can have the naming rights. And she said, well, I'd name it after my father and my mother, which she did. And so she came through for us, and I said, I'll make one other deal with you. She said, what's that? I said, if you'll do that, I'll take care of you the rest of the year, or the rest of your life. You don't have to worry about anything. I was over to see her every week, every 2 weeks. I made house calls on her all the time. Anyway, that was part of the deal. But I'm only jesting. But anyway, the three people, those are the three, and we wouldn't have that without. And I just kind of been around. I've been kind of the periphery, and I'm really humble. But I want to tell you something. There's a heck of a lot of love goes into this hospice business, and it's really, really true at the Pickering House. You know, the Pickering House isn't a shrine, really, but it's a holy place, because there's a lot of people who live their last days there. Their souls leave and go wherever they're going. But it's really, I feel just unbelievably strong about what great work they do. And the people that should get the awards are the nurses and the aides, and the lady that makes the soup, and the cook, and everybody that does the work there. They are just fantastic. And the meetings that I go to on Tuesday with Dr. Singer and Dr. Barney run, I'm there on the outside. I'm just kind of looking in and chipping is what I do mostly. Anyway, they run the show and they do a great job. And so in closing, I want to read to you something, and it's what I think they feel when they're taking care of people. And I think this is their inspiration, and I truly believe it's true. This talk, or this little thing was given at my granddaughter's graduation down in Nashville last week, and I thought it was so touching and so true of what people and what hospice is. Written by a fellow by the name of Gary Sukoff, and it's called The Seat of the Soul. And if you'll let me read this, I think you'll appreciate what I'm talking about. When the deepest part of you becomes engaged in what you are doing, when your activities and actions become gratifying and purposeful, when what you do serves both yourself and others, when you do not tire within but seek the sweet satisfaction of your life and your work, you are doing what you're meant to be doing. The personality that is engaged in the work of its soul is buoyant. It experiences purposefulness and meaning. It delights in its work and in others. It is fulfilled and fulfilling. And that speaks what hospice does.
Thank you, Dr. Snyder. He forgot to leave out the part of the funny jokes he tells us at team meeting, but that's okay. We'll go on. Okay, the third award I'd like to give out is the Virginia L. Pickering Philanthropic Award. Virginia L. Pickering, this award is given to an individual, family, or group who embodies the heart of hospice by giving and or raising funds to assure the mission of FAIRHOPE continues, regardless of the patient's or family's ability to pay. This award is named in honor of Virginia Pickering, whose vision and financial gift were both essential in the creation of FAIRHOPE's Pickering House. So I'd like to award this to the E.C. Babbert family, and they're here tonight. Come on up. Let me introduce this fine group of people here. We have Ronnie Babbert on the end, and then E.C.'s wife, Bonnie Babbert, and Chuck Babbert, so their son. So I met the Babbert family, I think actually drinking beer on a golf course. Well, E.C. talked me into driving the beverage cart, right? You know, and I'll do anything to help, raise funds for hospice. No, not anything, but it was a Saturday morning. I don't think I'd ever drank a beer that early in my life. But Bonnie was out on one of the holes, and we were just having a good time. But EC had many golf outings at the Harbor Hills Country Club, and all of the monies donated from that went to FAIRHOPE Hospice and towards the Pickering House. And with all the golf outings and everything he did, and all the generous support they've offered and continue to support us, it's been over $350,000. And so EC lived his legacy. He actually was, when we built the Pickering House, he was very involved, just like Leonard and Gordon Snyder. I remember he had his own company, EC Babbert Company, and you do sanitary, water lines, things like that, right? I have to explain it in non-construction terms. Is that right? That's right. Okay. He tried to teach me. But he was always my right-hand person to validate things with construction. Because he was a straight shooter, and he'd tell you exactly how it was. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So I'm trying to get Bonnie to talk with me here a little bit. Okay. So that's how I met EC and grew to love the man. I mean, he was just like a grandfather to me, and came to a lot of our events, and he got to know Virginia Pickering, and the two of them were an unstoppable group, weren't they? They were. They were a lot of fun. I told her just to say yes, okay? So it's all working out to this point, okay. But I do feel that the whole entire EC Babbert family was involved in everything we've done. They come to our fundraisers. You've been part of the Virginia Pickering Ice Cream Social every year. You've come to that. And they just continue to pour their heart and soul into helping us. So I think it was New Year's Day, wasn't it? A few years ago? 2 years ago. Time flies. That I actually never go out the front door of the Pickering House. I usually go out the entrance for the employees, but I happened to do that this day. And as I walked through the lobby, they were wheeling EC Babbert in. And I felt so honored. Number one, like I said, I don't walk out that door usually. I go through the side. But he did it in royal fashion. He came in the front door, and actually we were able to give back to EC, and he died in the Pickering house, surrounded by a lot of people that cared and loved him, including his family. So we're very honored to present this award to you and your family, and we want to continue to live EC's legacy, and his birthday is tomorrow, right? So happy birthday, EC.
I'd like to thank you, Denise. This is, I really had not been aware of what was going on until just recently, but it's a great honor on behalf of Dad and EC. Yes, he did get to live out the balance of his life where he felt most comfortable, and that was the Pickering house. And it just, I haven't met a person yet that hasn't had friends or family involved at Pickering house that have not walked out of there and said how much they, I can only say enjoyed being there, because these folks put us in such comfort during the stretch with Dad, other than the fact he had to drag it into New Year's Day with the Buckeyes playing. So we had to, yeah. But that was Dad. He always wanted to make things, it was his way or the highway. But no, we do appreciate this very much. It was something that he had a real drive for. Once developing cancer, we worked with the American Cancer Society at the golf outings initially. They didn't work with us. Denise came on board. My goodness, yeah, she was out there early on the carts, and everything that was done by that as a carryover of the Fairfield County Contractors Association, and it was great to go out there and just be able to see the money come in and actually know where it was going. And hey, it's just a great facility, and just continue to support FAIRHOPE. Thank you.
Okay, well there we are, we're celebrating life, and I don't want to let these awards go without, mentioning Virginia Pickering, because a lot of this happened because of her, and that's why we named the award, after her as well, because we want to always keep her in our memories and forefront. And one of the things I talked just real briefly, one of the things she did, being the feisty, fun woman that she was she left in her will that we would honor her on the date of her death every year. There you go. Who does that? Birthdays? Okay, so Virginia, we're going to remember you. And so August 4th, she died. So every year we have an ice cream social in her honor. So look on our website if you want to come. But she enjoyed vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce every evening when she went to Bibbs for dinner, and then when she came to the Pickering house where she lived and died after we opened. So we want to keep her legacy alive too. So with that, I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for being here and for supporting our mission. And we do want to celebrate, have a good time, bid, eat, drink, be merry, right? Is that it?